Hello everyone, this is ICO Talk TV. My name is Yelena and my guest today is Paul Mahone, a CEO of BitBoost. Good afternoon, Paul. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so today we speak about the block, the decentralized trading platform that BitBoost is launching. So will you please tell us a few words about the block?
Sure. Well, we are an e-commerce platform, and we're built on the Ethereum blockchain. So to give you something familiar, you can think of eBay, but running on the Ethereum blockchain. So initially, it's meant to be sort of a peer-to-peer trading platform, and for the future, we're looking towards business to customer and then business to business. And by running on the blockchain, we get a couple of advantages compared to traditional e-commerce. So,
what are those advantages? Yeah,
I mean, it's tempting, I think, these days for everybody to just put a business on the blockchain because it's the new thing. But we actually get some real advantages from doing this. One is we're able to have really low costs. So a company like eBay, for instance, would say charge you to list an item, then charge you for images, and then take a percentage of your selling price at the end. And if you pay through PayPal, they'll take a percentage. We're actually able to sort of remove most of the middlemen from this process. So we charge a flat fee of about $1 to list an item, and we don't take any percentage of your final selling price. We don't charge for images, and there's no extra pay because we have integrated a wallet into the app that uses Ether as a payment method. And another advantage of using a blockchain is because we've integrated this payment method, we don't have to collect any information about you, like say PayPal would. So it's good for us because we're not a target for hackers because we don't have your information. And it's good for the user too because you don't have to worry that they'll take your information and then lose it. Like, it seems like there's a hack in the news almost every day now. So I think that should be something that users would be happy about. We don't have your data and we're not going to lose it.
Okay, I see. And when did you start the project? Is it a startup?
Well, this is actually the second decentralized market that our team has released. We released our first one over 2 years ago. It was built on the NXT blockchain. That's where we started. And
was it successful? Was it a successful project?
Well, we did ship it, and it was in use for a while. But the NXT blockchain had a couple problems. One was it didn't have a very large user base, and this was just about the time that Ethereum was coming out. And the other problem was it wasn't really built for these sort of transactions. And Ethereum came along and it really solved some of the technical problems we had through smart contracts. And so we decided to switch to the Ethereum blockchain. So we've actually been working on this particular project, the block, for 2 years, more than 2 years now. And it's just about to go into beta testing, like public beta. It's been in private beta testing for a few months. So yeah, about 2 years, and our team has grown since then. We started with just 2 people, one front-end developer, that's me, one back-end developer named Andrew, who's Russian, and now it's 10 or 11 people.
Okay, that's great. And why have you decided to launch this ICO right now? So to say, what are the key milestones, the key stages of development of your project?
Well, actually, we have a very long roadmap because there are a lot of features that we want to integrate. But in order for the beta to work, there are certain features we had to have running. You had to be able to actually run it as an app. So you had to complete a lot of the user interface, and that runs on Macs, Windows, and Linux. And the users needed to be able to list items and be able to buy items. Now, all this is running on the one of the Ethereum test networks. So anybody who joins the beta will be sent test Ether. So you're not actually buying anything, but it does function. You can list an item, somebody can buy it. They don't actually buy it, they order it. We have built-in escrow contracts. So the money, if a buyer decides to order a product, the money goes from their wallet, their integrated wallet, into an escrow contract. And the seller If he declines the order, the money will go back to the buyer. If he approves the order and then ships it, when the seller gets it, if he says okay, the money will leave the contract and go to the seller. And if he doesn't approve it, then we also have built-in arbitration contracts, and that would kick in the case of a dispute. So all these things, image uploading, being able to make payments, having the integrated wallet, these all needed to be finished for the beta testing to happen. Now, there's still a lot to do. You know, we let people, for instance, if you're a seller, you can specify some shipping methods and charge varying prices for those, but we want to integrate with big shippers so that you can assign a weight and a size to an item, and the shipping cost to the destination can be automatically calculated for you. We're working on an internal reputation system, so there are a lot of features still to be built. Basics, buying and selling functioning now.
And what is the exact sum that you want to raise?
Well, our target, our cap is actually $25 million US dollars, which is kind of low by recent ICO standards, but we do have that cap. We're not looking for infinite money because I don't know what we would do with it. We actually have a plan for the money that we're raising. And so that is our cap, 25 million.
But the pre-ICO is already completed, as I got it right. Are you satisfied with the results?
So we did have a pre-sale. The pre-sale, we were selling our tokens with a minimum goal of 300,000, which we passed. We raised just under $1 million US. Our cap was 5 million, but we didn't really market it very much. So lately, we've been actually trying to market our main sale more than we did the pre-sale. And the main sale starts on Monday at 1400 UTC.
Okay. And will you please tell us in more details about your tokens? What are the key advantages, the key benefits of your tokens for the investor?
Mm-hmm. So our tokens are strictly an internal usage token. So this is how sellers will pay the listing fee. Our listing fee will be as close to $1 US as we can get it. So the tokens do not have a set value. Their price is going to just float. It's going to fluctuate depending on market conditions. And what we will do is very frequently, daily at least, update the listing price so that it's roughly $1 US price in our token. So for the pre-sale, we're selling our tokens for 20 US cents each. In the main sale, we'll start at 40 cents each. And over the course of the month that they're for sale, it'll eventually go up to 46 cents. And so it's basically if you buy these tokens, you're pre-buying listing power. That's what they do. They're not for like payments between buyers and sellers. It's strictly for listing. Okay.
And let's imagine for a second a negative scenario. If you don't get enough money, what will happen with the project, and how are the investors protected in this case?
Well, if we don't raise at least our minimum, and I'd have to look at the white paper to see exactly what that is, but all the money that we've collected in the pre-sale is still within the order book system. This is the selling system that we used, made by a California company called AmbiSafe. So we haven't touched any of that money. And until the main sale is over, we won't. If we don't raise the minimum that we're looking for, then we'll simply refund it. So we've been self-funding for the last 2 years. And so we aren't touching any investors' money until we've gotten through the end of the main sale and we've raised at least our minimum.
Okay. And what do you think about this ICO market in general? What do you think about its perspectives about its future?
Well, regulators are looking at it, so its future might be limited. I think it depends partly on the approach that each country takes. So I'm in Switzerland, and in Switzerland, the financial authority here called ICO has been relatively welcoming to ICOs. What they're looking for is not to shut them down.
Good for you, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're very lucky to be here. And the very friendly regulatory environment, I think, is one of the reasons that you hear about Crypto Valley in Zug. And Zug is actually where we're incorporated. It's a very welcoming environment for crypto startups, and I think FINMA is trying to keep it that way, even with the addition of regulation. So they're not getting shut down like they are in, say, South Korea and China, where they'll stop them and then review them. Here, they're reviewing them, working on rules, but not shutting down the market. I do think ICOs are a very innovative way to raise money, and I think once the regulatory issues are handled, it has a very bright future. Like in the US, for instance, you have to be what they call an accredited investor in order to invest in a lot of startups. And that means you have to have a minimum of $1 million in liquid assets. And that's really unfair for people who want to invest and maybe see some of the big returns that these accredited investors are able to get. You know, if you put your money in the stock market, maybe you get 4 or 5% a year if you're lucky. But startups can give you very big returns, and average people are locked out of that, which I think is very unfair. So ICOs have the potential to really let the rest of us in. I hope that continues to be a fundraising method that startups use.
Okay. And to sum up our talk, just in 1 or 2 sentences, why should I invest in the block?
Well, I believe it is the future of e-commerce. I think our low fees, our privacy, and our emphasis on customization and developing markets. I mean, right now the beta is localized in 10 languages. We want to launch with at least 20. A big effort to reach out to a very global community. So I think our future is really bright.
Okay, Paul, then thank you very much for this interview. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thanks for speaking with me.
Okay, and I remind you that my guest today was Paul Mahone, CEO of BitBoost, which launches the block. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch more interesting videos. Bye-bye.